Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast of Creatively Effective. My name is NintenLady. Sadly enough, none of my peeps are here this time around because this is going to be a very special episode. We're going to have our very first interview with none other than Miss Emily Young. She is the assistant producer and quality assurance helper for the game Indivisible, which is out right now on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, and the Switch. All over the place right now.
Not quite out on Switch yet, but it's okay. Soon, I promise.
Darn it. I was close enough. But it is a pretty cool game. I will admit, I have seen the gameplay. My friends, Vincent and Ian, they love the game. They love the work. It's fantastic. Like, they love it a lot. So, welcome our guest, Miss Emily. Yay!
Hi, everybody.
She's really cool. Like, she's actually really cool. I'm actually really excited. So, Miss Emily, since this is our very, very first interview episode, would you like to tell us more about who you are for our lovely listeners?
I can do that. Talking about myself, that doesn't sound too hard. All right, so yeah, hi. As she said, I'm an assistant producer at LabZero Games. I also do quality assurance testing. My job is basically to make sure that the game doesn't break. And if something did break, I'm sorry. I'm still paying attention to when you guys are yelling at me on Discord. So, yeah. Gosh, I guess it is kind of hard talking about myself. Yeah, I play games. I play a lot of fighting games.
What's your favorite fighting game that you've played?
Stereotypically, SkullGirls. Like, you can't not like Skull. It's so good. The animation's great. Gameplay's great.
Beautiful. It is beautiful. I love the artwork, how it's like East meets West with a very colorful anime look. I really love that. Like, it's something I would totally aim for too. Like, I love it.
Yeah, the animation team is just amazing. They do stellar work, honestly, and they are like the pride and joy of LabZero, let me tell you.
I would not blame anybody, honestly. I would totally not blame anyone. So, my very first question to you, can you tell us what a typical busy day is like in your role as, an assistant producer or a quality assurance helper person around LabZero?
Yeah, okay, so a busy day for me is sometimes when there's a remote team that also does quality assurance and they return like a whole bunch of bugs that they found. And so it was my job to recreate those and be like, okay, well, this is the actual steps for this. This bug is this. Hey, this person who can fix it, here's what needs to be fixed. Here's how we need to fix it. But on a busy day, I get slammed. There's just so many things that I have to do. It's just like, okay, somebody asked me, hey, can you check out this bug for me? Then there's like another one that's like a really critical bug that needs testing. And then somebody else will be like, hey, and after that, like this console thing is not working. I need you to like go upload that, make sure that like the console version does this thing specifically that it's supposed to do. And if it doesn't, let me know that. It's just like, okay, then I handle that, then handle that, then handle that, all while having to communicate with the publisher, like some important things that the team needs to let them know.
Oh, so, wow.
It gets a little hectic, but day by day it gets a little easier.
Is it always worth it? Like, just learning all this stuff over there and just saying, hey, I did that, Is it always worth it?
Oh, it's definitely worth it. I acquired a lot of skills just by, like, osmosis, just being there and being available to, like, help out with what needed to be helped. And also it's really fun finding out what caused the bug because that tells you things about the engine that it's made in, which is always very interesting.
Oh, wow. That already sounds interesting. Like, oh, that sounds cool. So, we already know that you do, the quality assurance and the assistant producer, but, what is it? What is it that you do at LabZero Games, besides, just making sure everything works? Like, what is it that you do at the studio itself?
All right, so besides making stuff work, on the producer side, it's like scheduling, making sure that the team is on task and that we are meeting our deadlines, which deadlines are hard, so it always helps to have that coordinated and everybody on the same page. But everybody at LabZero is very flexible in their role. Like, if something needs to be done, somebody else will do it. And for me, I also had to do a lot of things for sound effects, where it's just like we needed help implementing it. So they're like, yeah, do you have the bandwidth to be able to help with that? I said, yes, of course. Like, I can help with sound effects.
Oh, wow.
So I got a new hat where I did sound effect stuff.
It's always fun to get those hats of like, yep, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, and just piles on. It's like, that's a very tall hat.
A towering tower of hats, even.
Aha, that's very true. So speaking of, hats and beautiful sound effects, what do you do with the voices? Like, what do you do with it? And what was your favorite sound that you put into the game?
Right, so for the voices, like, I was just the one to make sure that every voice got to the right spot. So, like, if a character, like, grunts and goes, ha! Like, I more than likely put it in. There was, like, a couple other people working on that. But for me, my favorite voice that I got to put into the game was I actually had to alter a couple of voice clips to make it more interesting. Oh, wow. And Ajna has a level 3 super where she just turns blue and she shoots a Kamehameha beam, basically, and it just incinerates everything. So, like, yeah, we need a sound for this. And I was like, I got this. And so she goes like, ah! Like, that was me. And I just love that so much. Like,
does it have, like, a Dragon Ball Z influence when you did that?
No? It totally did.
It totally sounds like it too. Like, oh, that has to be a Dragon Ball Z influence right there. There's no way around it. Like, Dragon Ball Z.
It's a beam. Come on, she
True,
charges for it.
You gotta do the
no super Ajna.
You got no choice. Gotta have that reference in there. You gotta have it in there.
I think it's intended to be something else. I forget what the exact reference is supposed to be, but my brain just saw Dragon Ball. Like, that's all I was thinking.
The Kamehameha! Mm-hmm. Probably. What was your favorite part about working at Lab Zero?
Oh, man. All my coworkers, we are all, like, very amicable, where if somebody has a problem, they can talk about it with somebody else. And we can work the stuff out, and we work as a team. And I have to admit, like, that whole team-oriented aspect is probably the best thing about Lab Zero. It's just like, everybody's just like, yep, all right, what do you need? All right, here's what I need. Can you help me? Can I help you? This, that, the other. And it's just, like, that level of cooperation is just so nice to have, honestly.
And so it's like a tight-knit family, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I appreciate every single one of them. They're all great. Every single one.
Do you guys do, like, events and stuff there? Like, side events, like picnics and whatever with everybody for, like, fun and just get to know each other better?
On occasion, yeah. We're also planning a trip soon. I hope we get to do that. But
ooh, that's fun.
We even have, like, small things where at lunch sometimes we, like, go cook hot dogs together and, like, chat over lunch, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Don't even talk about the game. We just talk about life. Like, hey, how's it going?
I like that. I actually like that. That actually is pretty cool. And, you put work to the side and focus on the people and make sure everybody's doing okay. That's always good.
I agree. I just love this company for that.
I really personally love that when people actually spend time to get to know the person. Besides the work, it's like, I want to know who you are. It's always nice. It's always cool. It's like, oh, I'm special a little bit. Just a little bit, but I feel special. It's always awesome. What do you wish you had known when you started out working over there?
Well, I wish I knew coding better for sure. Like, I'm okay at, like, some weird languages that nobody uses and are unusable. Like, if I knew more basic, like, C++ sort of deal, like, it would have been really nice. But here I am, just going to deal with it and learn as I go. What else can you do? Just find out what you need and then do it.
True. Then another fun question I have that kind of correlates with it. Is it better to learn more at the company itself, or, do you recommend people to go to college to understand how it works?
It just depends on the person. Some people learn really well by osmosis and having hands-on application for the thing that they're trying to do, and other people just really like reading books and have people drone on in lectures for hours at a time. Like, whatever floats your boat, go for it. But on-the-job experience is always a plus. Like, people who see you and, like, go, oh, hey, you worked at this and have these skills. This works for what we need. That sort of thing. But I'm going to stand by, do what works for you. If, like, college teaches you what you need to know and that's, like, the thing that you want to go into, then go to college for it. But otherwise, if you end up getting hired at a thing where they have the skills that you need, more than likely your coworkers will help you out.
Nice. That's always good when, like I said, when people help each other, it's always the best. It's the best feeling in the world. Always awesome. So, correlating with, how you, when you wish you had known when you started out, how did you get started working at the company?
All right, so I was a very avid still am a very avid SkullGirls player, and I go to the locals that we have. And at one point, Lab Zero was just looking for quality assurance people, and so they were asking a couple of people here and there. They're like, "Hey, do you want to like go to an interview, see if you're a good fit?" And they didn't ask me for a good while. But then they're like, after a couple of interviews, they're like, "We can interview a couple more people. Would you be willing to come down?" I said, "Yeah, I'd be willing to come down." And so I did the interview, and bam, I got a job at Lab Zero. So,
how many interviews did it take you to get before you got that total yes? Like 1 interview, 2 interviews, like.
it was one and done.
Nice. I always like it when it's like that. Instead of waiting 20 years, it's like, nope, you're in. It's like, yes, I did it. What compelled you to become an assistant producer or a quality assurance person for the games?
Well, for QA, I like tearing things apart when it comes to games. Like, if something has a way to break it, I want to break it. It's really fun for me. And so they're like, "Hey, we're going to go pay you to break this." Yes, I will take that job. Yes, please. Thank you. Getting paid for what I like doing. So, but for assistant producer, it was just a thing that Lab Zero needed, and I was more than willing to take on the role. And it taught me a lot of things, and I got to coordinate with a publisher on a lot of stuff, and it's been a very valuable experience.
Nice. Like, when you were just working around, meeting all the people and stuff, what is a valuable lesson that you learned when you were meeting everybody?
A vital lesson, I'd say, is listen. Like, as basic as this is, when people are trying to tell you things, usually it's to like the benefit. Like, "Hey, when you're doing this, I need you to do X, Y, Z." And it's just like, okay, this is exactly what they expect of me, and that's what I can work with. And I don't know how else to put it, because if you're like trying to just say, "Oh, well," and you're like listing excuses and why you couldn't do it, this, that, the other, it doesn't help anybody. But if you sit there and listen, it's like, okay, let me parse what they need here. That's what needs to be done. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So, yeah, listening's good.
Listening is always vital and always, it's just handy. Everybody needs to be a good listener. That's always a plus, because not many people, honestly, nowadays are good listeners. So learn how to listen a lot better, guys. It's always a good plus, especially if you want to get into any industry. They always need listeners. It's always good.
I agree wholeheartedly. Oh, sorry.
It's okay, you're all good. What were you going to say?
I said I agree wholeheartedly.
Yay! Okay, this is going to be a little bit toned down of sad, but it's a very valuable question. What is your biggest failure, like, overall, from when you were learning at the company and stuff? What is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
All right, so for this one, I have a story.
I like stories.
There's like, I have to build the builds for sending out to the other QA teams. It was like an important aspect of my job. And at one point, I had neglected to follow the proper steps to like submit it. And I caused a big glitch that like the other QA teams were just like, "Hey, like this is a really bad glitch. Like, I don't know what's going on here." And it turns out it was my fault for actually screwing up there because I didn't double check something.
Ouch.
And so the lesson learned there was double check your things and make sure you coordinate with the people around you. Like, "Hey, did I do this right?" Because if something goes wrong and it's your bad, it just feels bad, you know?
Yeah.
But also, oh, sorry.
Were they able to resolve the issue, of course, like, later on?
We just sent another build and it's just like, yeah, don't do that again. It's like, okay.
What were you going to say before I interrupted you? I'm sorry about that.
I kind of lost my train of thought. It's okay.
But now we know listening and double checking is always important, guys. Do that every day of your life, because you never know when it's handy.
Such basic things, but they're really important.
They are. In like any company setting, it's like, can you listen to instructions and make sure you double check? Because one or the other, something is bound to happen, you know? It's insane. But I agree a lot. Just please, for the love of God, double check your work, guys. That's number one rules I always live by. Double check and listen. Just pray. So out of the depressing question a little bit, what advice would you give someone that's wanting to pursue a career similar to yours in, these kind of companies and stuff?
The best advice that I've actually gotten in like several small interviews here and there for like some positions that I didn't get is a lot of people are looking for a ship game. So as to the definition of what a ship game is, it could be like a big mod project that you had. It could be that you actually like made a game, like you just completely Toby Foxed it and made an Undertale, like.
Yeah, no kidding on that.
Or like, even if it's just like a small thing that you worked on with a team, just like ship a game, ship something out into the world and be like, hey, people can download and or buy this game and it is there and I made this. And they go, okay, well, you can make a game and we're making games, so help us make games. That sort of deal.
That is a big deal, because, I mean, if you know how to ship things, that means you know how things work, Huh. That's actually really cool. I like learning a little bit, like, it's like, oh, it's not always about, just make sure you draw, it's like, do you know how to make games? Yes? Okay. Good. Always like that. What are the best resources that have helped you along the way to get you to where you are now?
The best resources, I definitely have to say, besides peers, is my code was really bad, and so like I've been taking like a lot of coding resources to get better at some of the scripting responsibilities that I have, and they've helped out immensely. And
really?
I'm eternally grateful for a lot of the publicly available coding tutorials that are just like, hey, here for free, I'm going to teach you the basics. And it's important, especially nowadays where like coding is becoming more and more important. So I'd say that resources help me out a ton.
Mainly through like YouTube and stuff, you find all the tutorials and stuff?
There's so many resources now. It's not just in YouTube. There's like free cell phone apps. There's, I think Code Academy has a free thing. There's just like a lot of things that you can just be like, hey, I want to learn how to code. And yeah, and also it helps if you have like friends too, and they'll point you in directions and be like, hey, this helped me, and maybe you find something that helps you.
Nice. That's actually really cool. Like learning that there's other resources besides just tiny little YouTube. Whole internet at the palm of your hands, It's always insane. Another fun little thing that kind of correlates with the resources one. What have you listened to or read recently that inspired you, like, just to keep on going?
Ooh, we're talking about books.
It could be books or music. It could be anything.
Well, for music, what keeps me going is there's a song by Nujabes Best called Imaginary Folklore. And it's in Japanese completely, so I have to like do a rough translation of like the lyrics, but basically it's about like how a typhoon hits the city and like the singer is just like viewing this like typhoon that's going on. It's just like, yeah, things are a little crazy, but you know what? The next day is just gonna be fine. Like sometimes things are erratic, and just chill out, breathe, and keep moving, At least that's what that song says to me.
Nice. No, that is a really important message, especially with, nowadays where everybody gets, all tense. It's like, slow down. You're alive. Breathe. It's a very important message to hear nowadays. Very important.
Yeah, we're all a little hectic and we work a lot, so remember to chill, guys. It's okay. Just breathe.
And what was your favorite book that you were talking about a little bit?
Oh gosh. Well, I read a lot of textbooks. I'm not very good for like inspirational things.
Textbooks are good. Hey, it's a book. That's what counts.
True. Trying to think of. Oh, there was a thing that I read. It was a short story, an Isaac Asimov story that my partner linked to me, and I swear it was a really good short story. Right. So basically, to try and summarize it as best as possible, they ask a supercomputer like, hey, what do we do when entropy hits and nothing works? And for years and years and years, the computer is just like, I don't know. I don't have enough data. At the end of the story, the computer figures it out and boom, the universe starts again. So it's
wow.
yeah. So for me, like, a story like that is inspirational because it's just like, yeah, we don't all have the answers yet, but maybe someday, in some form, we hit it. Like, and it's okay to be a little ignorant because you're learning. It takes a lot of data to build a universe, you know?
No kidding. No kidding on that one. Wow. That's actually pretty cool. I kind of like that idea, that story. It's like, we don't always have answers. You just gotta wait, That's really cool. That's actually really cool. I like that. Another inspirational, influential question that correlates a little bit. Who are the 3 people that have been the most influential to you?
All right. I play a lot of music, and for me, my musical inspiration is Kurt Cobain. He put his heart and soul into what he made. And honestly, for me, that's just like, it touches me. It's just like, yeah, this song, like, I feel it. This is what he was trying to like put out into the universe. That sort of deal. And so that was like a big influence on my end.
Do you have like a favorite song from him?
Yes, Something in the Way.
Something in the Way.
There's another story behind that one, but basically it's just like, it's a kind of a sad song, but at the end of it, it's just like, yeah, sometimes there's just something in the way, and you're just gonna have to cope with the fact that there's something in the way.
Yeah. That happens a lot. I mean, everybody has those days where it's like, bump in the road happens, and it's like, what am I gonna do about it? And it's like, all you can do is just keep going. That's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it gets tough. It gets tough. I know that too well.
Oh,
but
there's a cat. All right, so
what's the second influential person?
All right, I'm gonna have to go with a coworker. Like, shout outs to Mike Z. Like, he's really good at what he does, and he sets like a standard, and he's like, this is the thing that I want done. Here's how it should be done. Here's how we're going to do it. And honestly, like, SkullGirls is really big evidence for me of like just that much meticulous care for a project, because not only did he like set his standard, but he also made sure that part of his standard was listening to his community and listening to feedback, which is important and vital for your game success, which is why I think SkullGirls has lasted this long, is because he listened to this community and was just like, okay, I'm going to do this for you.
That actually is really cool. And the fact that he actually listens to the community to even fix tiny little things, like make sure nothing is so overpowered. It's actually really, really cool. Just even knowing people do listen to the community like that. Kudos. Just tons and tons of kudos to him. And who's the third biggest influence for you?
All right, so I have to say, for the sake of my stubborn personality, I really appreciate Rosa Parks as a huge influence on me, because what she did in the face of complete adversity is just like, no, I'm going to do this, and you cannot stop me. This is my spot. I'm not letting go. And for me, that's just like, yeah, I can channel that spirit. Like,
that's
yeah, you know what?
Really cool.
This is thing that's going to get done, and no matter how adverse it is, I'm going to get it done. And yeah, I really respect her, honestly. She's huge for me.
That kudos, just kudos, because like, not many people talk about Miss Rosa Parks. Not many. Like, they always talk about, the whole thing that happened on the bus, but the fact that she can influence people, especially like saying, no, I will do this. It's actually very empowering. Empowering. Yes, that word.
Correct word.
Yes, the correct way to pronounce that word, because pronunciation. But no, that is actually really cool. Like, the fact that she influenced you to be more like, I will get this done no matter what. I give 20 billion kudos to that, because I can't argue. She changed the face of the world. Her and so many people, but definitely she's a big one. I have not heard a lot about from, people saying she's an influence. So I give kudos. That's really good pick for a third one. Really, really good pick. I like that one. Definitely one of my favorites. I never thought about that one too. But that's just fun questions. Who's your favorite character from the game Indivisible, and why?
All right, so I'm sorry to disappoint every Razmi fan of all time ever, but my favorite is actually Tarani. She is made out of water. She shoots puddles. She's like trying to keep her little family together. She's like, hey, no fighting, no leaving a girl in the middle of the desert. We're going to go through this. And she's adamant about helping. Like, that's her thing. She's going to do it.
Like, she's the mom of the group, pretty much?
Oh, she is definitely group mom. She gets hugs and everything.
I will admit, her design is really pretty. Like, I love how they did the blues and stuff on her. It's beautiful. Just beautiful. Just...
Yeah. Back when I backed the game, I was just like, yeah, this character's going to be great. And then, what do you know? She turned out great.
It's always cool when you just see the designs, like, she's the mom and she's the badass. Don't mess with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has that personality of, like, I will make sure my kids are okay, whether you like it or not. I love when that happens. I love moms like that. Like, don't mess with my child now. Gosh.
She protect, but also she attack.
Yes! I agree with that! I totally agree with that. Another fun question. On a scale of 1 to 100, how weird are you? Just on the weird level.
I don't know, like 96 or 97, my dude.
Yes.
My partner says that they like that I'm weird, so I'll go with what she says on that.
It's always amazing when you have that partner or loved one that says, I like you because you're weird. And you're like, huh, I didn't expect that, but okay. Like, when she told you that they liked you because you are weird, what was your reaction?
It was like a love note straight to my heart. It's like, oh yeah, this integral part of my personality, I actually like this. Okay, well, I like you too.
Just like, have you seen the movie Megamind where that person in the audience is like, I love you, whatever the heck the guy's name is. He's like, I love you too, random citizen. He's like, hey, we're on the same boat. I love that scene. It's like one of my favorite scenes in that movie because it's so stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like that.
Gotta spread that Philadelphia.
Hells yeah! But I think, what is it? One final question, and then I have a fun little segment I like doing with some of my friends. And I think you will like this segment too, because I like to do fun little things. But the last question I'm going to ask you is, where can our listeners connect with you online?
All right, so I don't really have a big internet presence, but if you direly need to reach me for whatever reason, I'm at Code Vieira. So it's at code_Vieira, Viera. And if you have any questions or like you have a problem on Indivisible, just be like, yeah, please help me. And I will more than likely listen to you and not let it get eaten by the Twitter void.
It's always bad when the Twitter void happens. It's like, did I miss that on accident? I swear, guys, it's not my fault. I swear, guys.
I blame the bird.
True. That bird. Very deadly bird. So, I have this fun segment. I don't know if you like to have some fun, but this one is definitely an interesting segment. It's still fairly new, but I think you will like this. Have you ever roasted video games?
Roasted video games.
Roasted video games. Where you
like with a barbecue or
basically you just say, oh, why are you playing Luigi's Mansion 3 when, you could be playing something better, because Luigi's a wimp kind of thing. Like, you're roasting something about the game that's just like, oof,
Yes, I have definitely roasted games before.
You down to do a few roasts?
A few roasts? Yeah, I guess I could do that.
We all like roasting around here, because who doesn't like to roast, It's always fun. So, you can choose any video game you played, and you can choose any freaking anything any game any character video game wise, and just roast them.
All right. So I have a bone to pick with Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh, now we're talking. Why you got a bone to pick with those guys?
Well, you see, because Final Fantasy VII exists, it overshadowed the best RPG release on PlayStation, which was Legend of Dragoon, because all the nerds were just like, oh, well, it's just copying Final Fantasy VII. Blah. No! Legend of Dragoon was a better game, okay? I'm sorry you're all like obsessed with your spiky-haired little weirdo, which sure, he's okay, but you could have a better spiky-haired weirdo. His name's Dart. Just play him instead. That game should not have been a cult classic. It should have been a hit. Like, it's so good.
I'll agree. I will agree. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, how many remakes did it have? It should not have this many remakes.
They gave it a PC one. They're remastering it. They made it like on every other console, basically. Like,
it's to stop being remastered. We know you guys like 7, but you know there's 20 billion other games out there that is just as decently okay, if not better than Final Fantasy, you know. It's just, stop with the remakes, guys. It's too much.
Wait, I didn't say Final Fantasy in general. I mean, 10 exists, 8 exists, 14 exists. They're all good.
True, but 7 just... 7 is not even a good number! Well, it's a lucky number, but it's not a good number! Come on! Come on, you could have gone with the original, the first one, and made that one better. But no, we're gonna go with 7. What about all the numbers in between?
I'll be nice. They did remake Final Fantasy 1 for like the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance, and that was pretty much it as far as I know.
It's been too long. It's like, when are we ever gonna see the light of day for this game? I mean, hell, I'm going to say it, since Luigi's Mansion is coming out on Halloween. How come the first game got remastered for the Game Boy, not the Game Boy, the DS, when it came out, like, the first game came out in 2001? I'm like, bruh, this should be made for the Switch already.
Wait a second, they're releasing a new Luigi's Mansion on Halloween?
Yes, Luigi's Mansion 3. It is going to be, and it's beautiful. Oh my god, I'm
hyped. I'm so hyped.
Dude. I'm gonna tell you this right now. After playing that demo a few times at E3, by god, you're gonna just lose it. Like, I already seen reviews about it, and people are saying it's like an 8 or 9 for that game. Like, it's just beautiful. I actually will admit, just looking at the work, I was shocked by the cutscenes alone, because they put like the tiniest details on like the denim overalls. You could see the freaking stitching.
Wow.
No kidding.
They're showing love for Luigi in this year of Luigi.
Yeah, what? Back in 2013, when it was a thing? Like, just, I'm sorry, guys, but we all know how much of a Luigi fan I am at this point. Every person I know picks on me because of it. But I'm like, player 2 will always win, guys. Player 2 is always gonna win. With somehow the better game. But yeah, third game is coming out Halloween. It has been announced literally 2 years ago. And, the fact that, what is it? They barely talked about it this year. They revealed actually some pretty cool floors. I will admit, there's 7 floors they revealed, and I'm just like, hype. Just hype. I guarantee you're gonna freaking love that game. It's lit. It's too lit. I can't reveal too much, because... But I guarantee you're gonna enjoy that game. It's definitely one game I can't roast. I'm like... I'll keep Sweet Husbando over there. I'm sorry, guys. Sweet Husbando cannot be roasted for now. Eventually, but not now. He was roasted last time, but I'm good. But I totally recommend that game. Totally recommend it. But there's another fun roast. I don't know. You play Pokemon, right?
Yep.
What's your opinion about adults playing a children's card game? Because I mean,
if it's the Pokemon card game, why are you bothering?
True. I mean, actually, why are you bothering when it's like, $80 for one card?
Well, I know a lot of Magic fans.
Ooh.
Like, I've seen them go at it. Like, it's actually really interesting to like watch them be like, okay, well, I'm going to coordinate the strategy. But those are usually games that you're like playing with like adults, so you can be like really mean and stuff. But if you're going to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament and you're like 35 and you're whipping on like 8-year-olds, like, rethink what you're doing to these children, please.
Yes.
Pick a different game.
Yes.
MTG is fun. Just go play that instead. I promise. Like, it'll be
Magic
okay.
the Gathering is more age appropriate. Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sorry, but no. I mean, I understand 35, but that's more Magic the Gathering. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like 20s at least. But man, I will admit that is a good roast. That is a pretty good roast. Because I will agree, I agree with that statement too much. Because me being a player in both Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic, and Pokemon, I'm like, there's too many adults! Why are they all playing games still? But I mean, at the same time, we're all gamers. Who doesn't like being a gamer? Yay! So, do you have any last thoughts for our viewers?
I'm thinking that I should tell everybody that they should play Indivisible because it's really good. I helped work on it, but don't let my bias fool you. It's still a fun game. Ajna is a perfect jock girl who messes up a lot and is great. I'm sorry, I was trying to quote Christine Love and I failed miserably.
Y'all good, trust me, y'all good. Nah, but yes, Indivisible is out right now, just not on the Switch. It's out on the Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox right now, so please go pick up the game. The reviews have been in for the game and has very good reviews. I think I got like, a lot of those reviews I've seen, it got like 8.5 or 9 out of 10 for that game, so really, really good art style, really good story, beautiful animation. Even the music is fantastic, so please, for the love of God, guys, go pick up that game. I highly, highly recommend it. Plus, there's a pirate queen in there. She looks freaking badass.
She shoots cannons.
I know, right? Like, it blows my mind. She's all hail the pirate queen. But yes, go pick up the game, guys. I'm NintenLady, and this is Miss Emily. Yay!
Bye. Also, bye.
So, this is our special episode, and we will be back with another special episode eventually! I don't know when, but eventually! But I hope you guys enjoyed this special episode, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye.